when you were growing up, right? And you can walk us into where you grew up and neighborhood and things
Yeah.
like that. What, when did you first realize that, yes, you were black?
So, like, I'm from the Bronx. I lived in the Bronx my entire life. And, like, I have, in middle school, um, we made the transition for me to go from public schooling to private schooling. And I don't know how well you know New York, but I went from public schools in the Bronx to private schools up in Westchester. So it was in the suburban, like predominantly white neighborhoods in New Rochelle. And that was definitely an eye opener. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm one of like five black people. So that is when you really like it slaps you in the face because you're like, I'm like the second tallest kid in the school, and two, I look like nobody here. So that's just the biggest slap in the face. You're like, okay, I'm different, right? So then you have to go through kind of like all of those social barriers and things like that, right? Like how do you relate to people that have never lived where you lived or don't understand the things that you understand? And you're doing this in middle school, right? So that's when, and it's like you're doing it in middle school and you're also bouncing back because I obviously go home in the Bronx, right? So it's like you're bouncing back between where you live and where you go to school. So I've had to have that kind of like bouncing back and those like gymnastics pretty much from a young age, right? But like when it comes to like things of police brutality, right? The first striking time that it was like, oh, things are like different, but this is like different that and it can affect you very, very quickly was the Trayvon Martin situation. Because that was when like we were so young at that time that we were just like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, like I mean, he was wearing a hoodie and had Skittles in Arizona.
Yeah.
Like I did that like that summer. Like you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it was so raw. So it was like, oh, this is like real and this can really affect you. Because it's a different thing if you watch like MLK stuff or you watch things about slavery in school and stuff and you think it's so distant that you don't think it can affect you, right? You just think that
Yeah.
racism is a thing of a past until that point, until it's
Yeah.
not, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's like a lot of times how it is for a lot of black people that it's like, people think that racism is a thing of the past until it's not. Until it's like, oh, like
True.
I just
True.
got pulled
Uh,
over and I have like a gun in my face or something, or I just got like racially profiled at like a store, or this stuff happened. Like until it's up in your face, that's when you really realize it, or it
have
happens
you,
to a friend.
yeah. Have you personally been treated differently because you were black and like you kind of knew it was because of that?